Yeah, let me give you the latest as of about noon on Monday. Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman, the higher-ups of the New York Yankees, indicated there'll be no contract talks with Soto during the season. Soto doesn't want to have contract talks. Neither does the agent,
Scott Boras.
They're going to take him. He's going to free agency for sure. Now, that doesn't mean he can't be re-signed by the Yankees, but we all know where this is going to all wind up. Scott Boras wants the left fielder to become the highest average paid baseball player in the world, which is probably 40 to 45 million. I think it'd be fascinating to see how Soto hits at Yankee Stadium. Soto said this weekend he's not going to redefine his game to try to reach the short right field porch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he does have tremendous power to left center, but left center's a long freaking way away. So that'll be interesting statistically how he does at Yankee Stadium. Of course, he's going back to the American League. But Soto has talked extensively about where he'd like to hit in the batting order, because Aaron Boone is trying to juggle Soto, Judge, Giancarlo Stanton. I mean, there's a three monster bats.
Huge.
But Stanton has had nothing but injuries 4 years in a row. Soto is new, and Judge has bounced back. And so it's going to be fascinating to see who hits 2, 3, and 4 in the Yankee batting order. But Soto is going to be a free agent at the end of the season. We have to expect that. And by the way, New York is different than playing in San Diego. New York is different than playing for the Washington Nationals.
Just a bit.
If dude is hitting 221 and screwing around like he did the first 2 to 3 months of last season, having no success, his life is going to be hard. Because the media and the fans and talk show radio in New York and the Big Apple is really different. So that's the latest on Soto. Here's the latest on Blake Snell. The Yankees, about 2 weeks ago, offered him, we talked about this briefly, 6 years, $150. It's not the $30 million per year that Snell-Boras asked for. There were no opt-outs. It would give him state-of-the-art money immediately. And it'd be for 6 years, which I tend to think is a pretty good contract. He rejected it. Over the weekend, the Yankees reportedly offered him 3 years at 105, which pushes him a shade above $30 million per year. No opt-outs. If you're going to sign a 3-year contract and we're going to pay you the state-of-the-art money, you got to be here all 3 years. They haven't responded to that. The rumblings out of Tampa, where the Yankee spring training camp is that Boras and Snell might take a short-term contract at mega money, short-term, and go back into free agency within 2 years. Now, the gamble is, what if Snell reverts back to what Snell was for a large chunk of his San Diego Padres stay, which was really erratic? I mean, the Blake Snell we saw last season from May 1st on was spectacular, but he's not been able to bottle that and use it on a year-by-year basis. So there's a gamble if he takes a 2 or 3 year deal, tries to jump back in. What if he has Blake Snell's San Diego type seasons, then his marketability goes down? They want the bigger money, but nobody's going to pay him 7-year contracts. So that's the latest there. Bryce Harper, meeting with the Phillies, has indicated, he wants to finish his career there. You want to restructure my contract to give you a little more breathing room to go get more players on this really good team? Let me know. And he said he would agree to move to first base. So that's kind of interesting there. Oakland A's situation. Guess who was where over the weekend? Ownership back in Sacramento. They're now talking specifically about in 25, 26, 27, moving the team and just playing all their games in the AAA stadium in Sacramento. There's a rationale behind it because they had looked at a whole bunch of other things. Last week, there was a lot of conversation that, maybe we'll split. We'll play half the schedule in Vegas, the other half in Reno, which makes a lot of sense to me, even though the weather's brutally hot. It makes a lot of sense because then you're marketing athletics baseball in the Silver State for the next 3 years. But they found out that if they leave Northern California, their TV contract becomes null and void. They're making $70 million per year on their current TV contract. If they vacate the Bay Area, and Sacramento, I guess, is part of that Bay Area thing, $70 million goes away. And if you're playing games in Vegas and Reno, I don't think anybody's going to pay them $70 million for
No.
that. So that's why all of a sudden the Sacramento thing has kind of come front and center. I guess what shocks me the most about the A's crisis is the commissioner is not front and center leading the drive to help them find something. Should not baseball be using its influence, its contacts, its legal people to help them sort this thing out so they can get to Vegas? Baseball's just been hands off. This is a whole John Fisher thing. So weird, but it might be they're going to be in Sacramento because they don't want to vacate the TV contract. So, John, go ahead. You got Soto, you got Snell, you got Harper, you got the A's.
Yeah. So going to the A's, aren't they already worried about the move to Vegas? Didn't the Vegas mayor say, oh, maybe you shouldn't come here? Do you think that's why Rob Manfred is not taking a forward position in this negotiation?
Shouldn't he take a forward position and get the franchise to Vegas to try to make the franchise better?
You think he would?
But he's been absent from these conversations, and I don't understand it, unless they don't want to get sued.
There's got to be some agenda going on here that I'm unaware of. And also if the A's went to Sacramento, there's already a AAA team there now, and I don't know how that's going to work. But to talk about the other guys, Snell, he may have to take this deal because where else could he go? Who else is in the mix for him other than the Yankees?
No, the Angels and Giants, but I don't see at this point, unless Arte Moreno does a U-turn after getting lectured by Mike Trout, where else is he going to go? San Francisco's already spent a chunk of money in free agency. And we always spin back then. You're going to give this guy 7 years? This guy is as great as he was last year, so much fun to watch, has been so erratic. And you're going to pay him $30 million a year to pitch 5 innings per start?
Oh, he's doing more than 5.
Years. Not very much.
Well, now he gets to 6 or 7. So
I doubt.
But in this particular case, Arte Moreno has an opportunity to sign him and solve this for him and for Blake Snell.
Sure.
So Blake Snell now has the number from the Yankees. He's got a value offering from them. Now I think you can take that number, go to Moreno and say, hey, you want to beat it or match it? And then maybe I'll come play for you.
Okay, we'll see where that goes. And I'm surprised that just the whole number of quality free agents that are still out there.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's not just Snell. It's obviously Montgomery, the Texas Ranger left-hander. And it's Cody Bellinger and J.D. Martinez. As of Sunday, there's 112 unsigned veteran free agents. Now, a whole pile of those guys are coming off injuries. Some of those guys are coming from Japan, a.k.a. Trevor Bauer.
Oh, yeah.
And then you've got just utility guys or designated, but 112 players are still unsigned, and the games start on Thursday.
Well, do you think a lot of the financial guys in these major league front offices are playing that game of chicken? They're waiting for it to get closer and closer to the start of the season, and then they can probably get a better deal on a J.D. Martinez or a Matt Chapman.
You would think so, but clock is ticking. We shall see. Okay, we go from all things baseball